might be a weird one, but I thought a Lost Judgment demo. I'm sure out there who want to know if it's worth buying. What the fuck am I talking about? It's worth setting up a Japanese account to play it. And well, if you're a hard fan of this studio, then the answer is obviously yes. But for more casual people, that's complicated. Now, this is just a review of a demo, and it's a weird concept anyway, because a lot of stuff isn't here or isn't really showable as far as the full game goes. But it's a good chance to talk about what's in here, what works well, what works poorly, what I like, what I didn't. Now, this here is just one of these weird little world events you'll find, which is someone dropping something, you pick it up and return it to them. It's something I've noticed happen quite a lot. I don't know if there's going to be more of these, like, random, like, Red Dead style just events popping up. I mean, it's worth noting that Yakuza isn't, like, new to this stuff. But, yeah, every now and again you'll see something on the floor shining, you'll walk over, pick it up, and someone within a short walking distance will say, oh, thanks for returning this to me, and they give you an item. Speaking of items, picking up shit is back. I can't say it's something I've ever been a fan of. To me, it feels like it's on the bad side of distraction, just running over these bits, picking up dirty irons, bits of screw, condoms, used cigarettes. I'm assuming all this is going to be used to craft, like, new stuff. And yeah, I've never been a fan of this in the First Judgment, so I can't say I'm exactly thrilled it's back here. Nothing particularly offensive about it, but one thing worth noting. Yep, you can still run on cars, they beep at you, but you run straight into them and you get knocked flat. Nice carryover from Like a Dragon. You know, it took a while for them to implement the idea of getting hit by cars. Actually kind of had it in Yakuza 5, come to think of it. Oh, there's a used cigarette. I'm sure I can craft that into something to eat. Or to make a, like, upgrade for a gadget. Another thing I've noticed is you now have alerts to where people are talking. I don't know if this is going to be used in some sort of quest later on, like whether you can actually, whether there's any point to these, or if they're just a way to let you know where civilian banter is. So, another used cigarette. Oh, what's that on the ground? And it looks like I cannot investigate it. Yeah, one cool thing they have added is investigations now are much more of a seamless thing. You don't go to a specific area and it puts you in first person and goes, okay, now it's time to investigate. You actually have to physically, oh, let's just run into this car for the sake of it. Hey, oh. Yeah, investigations now actually let you just switch at will. It's basically first-person view. From what I'm aware of, there's going to be far more gadgets in the full thing. You'll probably unlock them as you go along, but right now I've just got the camera. And, yeah, that's a neat little thing that makes the whole game feel a bit more like a sort of a bit more seamless, I guess, so to speak. Now I'm going to sort of complain a bit about the seamlessness, because one thing that I was somewhat disappointed in is, while this was already something I suspected and had already kind of said, a lot of investigation stuff is still very much treated like a mini-game. Like, you can go in and find stuff which might be useful just by looking in first person, but all that Uncharted style climbing, that's always, or at least that's still something where there's a specific instance where it tells you how you can do it. You can still climb up certain objects, but the actual gripping, the platforming stuff, that's basically relegated to, okay, it's time for platforming, it's time for climbing, and once that's over, oh, that wall you could climb on? Yeah, you can't climb on that anymore, it was just for this small section. So yeah, that's kind of lame. Speaking of other stuff which is kind of lame, I'm afraid to announce that the demo sadly does not feature any roaming thugs. I don't know if this was a way to stop people just grinding it, because I suspect you may well be able to take your progress from this demo into the full game. It pretty much is the start of the game, taking you through a short sort of one-off story involving Yagami investigating some sex trafficking gang. It's fine as a side story. It's kind of very linear, very tutorial-like, and mostly just there to introduce each concept, tailing, which has been improved significantly. You now have a button to basically act casual, which runs off like a health meter. So the more you act casual, the less your act casualness is allowed. So you've got a limited amount of holding down an act casual button to avoid being seen. Mix that within the timing of having to keep an eye on where someone is and not getting seen as their suspicion rises. You got a bit more to it. Along with that, there's no longer these very obvious, here's a place you can hide things. You kind of just have to go up to walls, which is a mixed bag. On one hand, it's more seamless. On the other hand, getting into cover, I'm not going to do it now because the game is still treats it like a mini game. So in certain areas, you will just go into cover, which might be something like this. But it feels kind of inconsistent. Like some you can go into, some you can't. So it's sort of both a step up and down. On one hand, there's probably far more places you can hide. On the other, there's probably some places you'd expect to be able to hide, which for some reason you can't. So as far as this demo goes, most of the point really is to, just grind these collectibles you can go, which will endlessly respawn. You can probably use to, I don't know, make a health potion or something. Ain't a ton to do here once you've finished the main thing. What is neat is you do have a couple of full mini games. You've got shogies here, and darts is here. Shogi still kicks my ass, and I'm still terrible at it. It takes a lot of effort for me to win a basic game of it. And darts is still way too easy. Despite having a whole bunch of level up darts you can buy that are better, still pretty easy for me to get a 3 in a row triple 20. Oh, there we go. That's one of my, that's an achievement for my leveling up. So darts is still bad, shogi is still hard, but I'll try and get better at it. And there's the full version of Alex Kidd, which can be played in Yagami's office. Yep, his pinball machine has been replaced with a Master System. That's cool, I guess. More interestingly, while the rest of the games are locked off, it looks to me like they're going to be unlocked via side quests rather than just being in the full game, which I think is a cool thing. I think it kind of gives a bit more purpose, I guess. It's not the first time there's been unlockable full games in these Yakuza / Judgment / Black Panther / issue, whatever titles. But yeah, it's cool to have some unlockable games which haven't been used in countless other titles. Like the Fist of the North Star game they had an arcade you could gradually fill, but since all stuff you'd already probably played to death, on one hand, if you'd just been, fans of Sega titles, but also just if you'd played the previous games the studio has made, because it's like, how many times have you put Outrun in an arcade, not even counting other Sega titles done by other teams like Shenmue. Point is, I kind of like that these are things which haven't been put in countless collections. I know you can probably find them quite easily, but when you consider these are a bunch of ROMs, I do think there's a bit more fun to getting them when they haven't been used in other titles from this studio. In terms of cheapness, these four are obviously DLC, which I don't know if they'd be unlocked through DLC quests or what, but hey, that's That's one being pretty blatant about it. Fans, I don't know whether to say they don't give Ryuga Gotoku enough shit for their DLC abuse. I just think they tend to get off easy. Personally, I think the whole microtransaction DLC stuff is almost a bit over-complained about at this point. Like, a lot of games, I find it quite easy to ignore. I just remember Metal Gear Survive, which was everyone's favourite sort of hate toy for a while, and the amount of bullshit people said about it, which was blatantly, like, if you played it, wasn't really true. Oh my god, you have to pay for a save file. Oh wait, it's the same pay for a profile system they used in Metal Gear Solid 5, and actually Metal Gear Solid 4, so, yeah. Yeah, sure, you can borrow it. Yeah, just going off script there, here's Shogi. I'm not going to play it because I'll suck at it. I guess I might briefly show you some combat, because they have improved two styles a good deal. Well, actually, I mean, they've improved the one style a good deal. I'm not yet sure about how different Tiger feels, but I will say that they've changed the moveset for Crane a good bit, which is good, because Crane kind of sucked, and it seems like they're improving it. That's kind of what I want to emphasize. Feels like there we go. That's the event where someone has dropped something, and let's look around. There's got to be someone who... Oh, there we go. Just walk over, give it and I get like a good pebble or something and unlock an achievement. So, yep, Sacred Rock. I'm already full on pocket tissues. Yeah, I gotta say, I'm a big enough mark for this series at this point that I recognise when little details have changed. Like, I notice I can't find doesn't seem like the homeless people's multi-story building is available in this one, which yeah, a bit of a shame. Same for the sort of cuddle calf, can't go in there anymore. You know, once again, but that probably just means there isn't really anything to do in them this time. Still, it's I'm a big enough mark that I pretty quickly noticed these things. Be interesting to see. I'd imagine part of it is probably a good chunk of stuff is just being moved over to Jingaichu to sort of, since that's probably going to be the main city this time. Like, you'll notice there's no actual Paradise VR that's in Jingaichu, you know, which was initially a Rise gym and was before that a bowling alley. I know my Yakuza Kamurocho history there. Yeah, I still kind of enjoy just wandering around, seeing what's changed, looking at seeing where a store or building is closed and been replaced. So let's just save for now, and I'm gonna show you off the combat, which is yeah, pretty good. It has seen some noticeable switches. So let's just start. Given that it tells you not to save, I heavily suspect this will be something you can import. Maybe not to my European copy, but hopefully to others. Hopefully to Japanese. Good on them, I guess. So this is a peek of the demo, and let's just check how much I've earned by messing about. Let's complain about something briefly. As usual, they've only doubled down on the amount of like upgrades you can buy, which I'm not really a fan of personally. Like, have gone from 3 boost attacks to 6. But let's complain about something real specific here. Like, I really do not like that they are adding perks to give you more money to spend on perks. This was something, I've got to be fair, this isn't the first game to do it. Yakuza 6 had it, Kiwami had it. Also sort of like a dragon in a different form. I never liked this stuff. I think it's sort of ridiculous. They have this, hey, pay some XP to boost the amount of XP you get. You know, I guess in this case it's SP. Point is, this stuff can really fuck off. It just feels like such a weird, circular, pointless addition, which just takes all, like, realistically, strategically, probably the best thing to do is just go straight and buy this immediately to add 50% and keep on earning these to ensure you're boosting quicker and quicker. But to me, that just goes against what is, I feel, fundamentally good, I guess I'd say, good difficulty pacing. It makes it probably a lot harder for the devs to actually figure out how much we should pace for difficulty. I mean, look at the insane level of health boosts. Not sure how this tie-in health to styles works, whether you'll have more health in certain styles, but actually this might be somewhat interesting. I guess I have to wait. As usual, you got a ton of different moves to get, a lot of reused, but a good few new. Some stuff I'm gonna complain about. I'm still not a big fan of some of these perks. Target Lock and Silence Destroyer, for example, just feel like ways to take away depth. Like, this just makes it, there's a point early in the game where you've got to kind of sneak through an area and it's full of like used cans and stuff that are just lying around, and you have to avoid touching them to avoid alerting enemies. By this perk, and that's probably partially gone, which just feels like a pointless, like, hey, you want to make the game more shallow and take away something, there you go. I guess I feel similar to Target Lock. Like, I feel like, I feel this is, once again, me confirming my RPG dislike, but I always felt like, it's cooler when you get stuff which adds to your moveset as opposed to, that adds to the gameplay, I guess, so to speak, instead of taking away from it. You got a good few new improvements though. Like, I think I'll show you off some crane stuff. I wonder if there's still not currently seeing an option to make it so wind doesn't affect your drones, but it's probably in here somewhere. Sort of thing, I'd say, remove that, because why would I want wind to be a non-element? Add some depth. Let's show you some, let's switch to switch to my crane, because this has seen the most noticeable change. Like you can kind of dodge completely, like the dodge is different, you've got these quick wheels and this kind of aerial thing, which I'm pretty sure you can turn into combat when you level it up. Instead of actually grabbing a foe, throws in this acts far more as like a dodge, so he's way better at dodging like this. Which does add some fun. You can kind of do this whirling move now, which it's just fun. Like, they have definitely improved combat. It feels like they've kind of been trying to compromise on Dragon Engine's inherent, like, physics-ness, I guess, so to speak. Dragon Engine has always been very based on real physics in a way the previous games weren't, which made actual combat far more random, since stuff would just fly into you. Your character was, I noticed the heat action chilling up. Is that from Potto, probably? I might try and do that. I'm just showing you off my the new crane, because I do think it is a marked improvement, and I'm not at all, I've only got like 1 or 2 moves unlocked for it, so I'm sure it gets a lot funner as we go on, because crane did kind of suck in the past, because now I'm just fucking just dancing about. Hey, you. She got me there. So yeah, this is the big thing I'd know. They do seem to have really taken combat into concern and made it far better. I will not be at all shocked if this is far and away the best Dragon Engine combat the series has seen. It may well take on the best combat previously, because this gave me a very good first impression, and they listened. So once you get to this, you kind of go back to your more boxer style, quick, like back and forth. So yeah, I'm gonna say this is a pretty good. Yeah, hello. Yeah, I'll take him out. Yeah, I know, I know. Yeah, I'm done pretty much. So there we go. That's my two interruptions. That's my impressions. I didn't really go and actually show you off the tail end or the south or the platform end because I can explain them all there. They're the same as they're very in touch with the previous judgment, which is to say there ain't a ton to them, but hopefully, hopefully they do add some challenge. I gotta complain about running briefly because you're still getting those running missions, and this is kind of my last thing. They're still just QTE fests. They're basically just you're chasing a guy and there's a bunch of QTEs, but it doesn't have the cool like cinematic direction of like a Shenmue QTE. It's just you watching Yagami's back, and I guess you can sometimes run into like a power up or a bollard, but you know it feels awkward. I still don't like them, and it's just kind of lame. But because I think the Yakuza 5, for all its awkwardness of the chasing sections, they did at least feel like actual like an actual proper like a chase, so to speak. Like you weren't just auto glued to someone's back. You know, as Judgment, Like a Dragon, and this one's QTEs feel like really bad versions of like the Crash Bandicoot Warthog stages. Like you're just bowing forwards, only the realistic style, the amount of quick time events, and sort of awkward camera, just with mixed with low difficulty, mean they feel more like something that exists to kind of fill in, like they need something to fill in for the chasers rather than something that is actually fun to do. But hey, I think Crane Styles improvements are enough to make me go, yeah, this is looking like a pretty good sequel. And for what's worth, even with a lot of the mini games being recycled, there's so much new stuff I'm seeing in the trailers. But yeah, I'll say I've got high hopes for this one. That's all I'm gonna say. It's not fixing my complaints, but it's fixing the more. It's not fixing a lot of my long time issues, but it is fixing like its minor ones. Like, well, not minor because Crane style being actually a good style is a pretty major improvement. But yeah, it's not going to switch direction of all the things I feel they could be doing better, but it is at least a solid looking sequel. So that's my review of the demo, I guess. It gives me some pretty good impressions. Bye.